All right, so it is Friday afternoon. It's been a wild day. Where am I looking? Oh, it's over here. So I have a magic glove on, and I'll explain why I have a magic glove on. So as far as checking in, letting you know what today was like. Came in to work with some of the aggressive dogs that I'm assistant handler of, and yeah. Everything was fine, except for with one of the dogs that I dealt with. I'm still a little shook up about it. So basically, I've been learning how to put dogs out in the yard, how to socialize the dogs, how to crate the dogs, and how to do rotations with multiple dogs. And on any given day, we can be working with 30 up to 50 dogs. And it's been really smooth. I've really enjoyed the process. I've learned a ton about dogs and socialization, behavior, how to read their cues, but by no means am I an expert in the dog world or the aggressive dog handling world for sure. I have a lot of respect for a friend of mine and the owner of Zen Dog for what he does. The gift that he has and the time and dedication he's put into the craft of being a master dog handler is phenomenal. I just happen to be a beginner, and I feel like coming into it, I catch on to things very quickly. And as far as dealing with dogs, reactivity, as far as my reaction and ability to be perceptive, and my ability to maneuver and work with dogs, I think coming into it is good, but that doesn't mean I know how to read all the signs at all the times. Trucks going by, I should probably roll the windows up. So definitely being a beginner and looking back on what happened, I would have done it different, but of course, that's hindsight. And so what did happen? Well, I got bit by a rescue dog, which is a Ridgeback. Pretty big dog, I would say 80 to 100 pound dog. And a lot of the dogs that come into the facility, they are definitely coming from sometimes, and most of the times, from some pretty intense backgrounds. Their histories are pretty rough, and that's why the Zen Dog exists. There's a great place for people to bring their dogs that they're having certain challenges with, to a place that actually accepts them, because their motto is there are no bad dogs. And I still believe it. Even though I got bit today, I don't think that the dog was bad, and I definitely had a role or a part to play in that. I was doing my best, but my best still doesn't mean that I'm gonna always know exactly what's gonna be happening no matter what, and how it's going to play out. So I was just moving the Ridgeback I mentioned from the yard back into the crate room, and I've handled this dog a couple times before, and the dog has been super fearful and skittish, and I've definitely taken that into consideration in the past, and definitely took it into consideration today. And when we went into the crate room, a lot of the times other dogs, they do their thing. I'm gonna turn the AC on, the heat's on from this morning. The dogs do their thing, they get, loud, and they bark and all of that. And the dog that I was handling, the Ridgeback, wasn't reacting to the dogs at all. He wasn't reacting to me either when we were going to his crate. Okay, 60 degrees versus 80 degrees is gonna work a lot better for me here. And then we got to bring this up. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So there was no reactivity, but I didn't really maybe understand the depth of the fear within this dog, because like I said, I've dealt with in the past few months, a lot of fearful dogs, and this hasn't happened. And if it felt like it was going to happen, I was able to not take the slip off the dog and close the gate and leave the slip on. But once I opened the gate for the Ridgeback, I let the Ridgeback in, and it didn't seem too far off, like too out of the norm for this dog. and there's a slip, which is like a leash or a lead. There's a metal ring up on the top, and I don't like going over the top of a dog's neck to grab the ring and undo the slip or the lead, undoing that from the neck and the head of the dog. Dogs usually don't like that, especially if they have a history or any issues with people being around their neck and their head. So I saw that the ring was up high on the neck, and I wanted that ring to drop, which would create about 4 to 5 inches at least between the bottom of the dog's neck and my hand. And the first time I went in, I tried to get that ring to drop, and it didn't drop far enough. And the moment that I had there between me saying, you know what, that wasn't exactly what I was looking for, and I reset, but it wasn't like I totally stopped for like 5 minutes, thought exactly. No, it was just, all right, the ring didn't drop low enough. I'm gonna try this another way and go a little bit lower and see if I can get that ring to hopefully drop lower as well. And that's not what happened. So first take, ring didn't drop low enough. Second take, went to try to drop it, and boom, the dog just tucked its chin in and grabbed a hold of my hand. So that's why I have this glove on still, just because there was 2 minor punctures, bite marks or teeth marks in my hand. There was no blood drawn, but this is considered a bite level 3 or a BL3, and then it's with a human, me, so it's BL3H. This is the vernacular I've been learning over the past few months. So that's what happened today. Soon as the dog grabbed a hold of my hand, it didn't want to hang on, but it definitely had quite a bit of pressure, for sure. It wasn't a light, just like little nip by any means. It grabbed on. The good thing was that the teeth weren't crazy sharp or anything. And the moment that happened, I can still see the picture in my head of the dog's mouth on my hand. But the moment it happened, I just yelled out, "Got me!" Kind of like getting hit by a paintball in the neck or something. That's the only time I ever said, like, "Got me! I surrender." Because I didn't want more, that's for sure. That was like good enough. And so I closed the crate door, and once the dog had already been stimulated to that height or that level of intensity. When I closed the crate door, the crate door, there's 2 latches, and I went to latch the top one, and the dog lunged towards me and wanted to bite my hand again through the crate door. So that wasn't awesome. It happened a couple times, and then there was a lower one. So he was definitely, after the episode of biting me, amped up quite a bit. So I was able to get the latches shut. That way the dog was safe in there, and I was safe, and I left the crate room. So, my fault is that, I'm definitely not super experienced. And if I was to do that all over again, knowing what I know now, because there's a really fine line that you walk no matter what dog you're dealing with, in regards to dealing with what people deem to be aggressive dogs. That moment where I thought, okay, that wasn't good enough, and between that and the second attempt to get a little bit lower, I probably just would have left the slip or the lead on the dog's neck and just closed the crate and said, you know what, this is not the time. I'm good on that. We got the dog in the crate. Let's just call it there and move on with the day. And then, the slip would have been on, and the dog would have, maybe tried to get the slip off, or someone else, when they were coming to get the dog later, would have actually had maybe an easier time because the slip was already on, because there's rotations of dogs that happen very frequently, because they're not just sitting in crates all day. They're actually being rotated and socialized constantly all day long and all night long, 24/7. So I'm still highly appreciative of all the lessons I'm learning, including today's. It's been a wild journey into the realm of aggressive dogs, and like I said, even after that, I still don't think there's any bad dogs. It's just I made a bad call. I could have made a better one. That's just how I view it personally. Maybe other people would say, well, maybe not, but I definitely like to take as much responsibility in my life as I can and just understand, like, yo, I'm new to this, but now acquiring that lesson that I got today, definitely in the future, if I'm, you know, coming across a similar situation with a dog that's presenting, you know, similar behaviors, I would definitely change that up and do it different. So yeah, I really do like all the knowledge that's been bestowed on me and given to me, and the experience hands-on, because it just makes me a better person at home with our 3 dogs, and it makes me a better person around other dogs. There's more respect, and that's what that knowledge and that experience gives you. You respect dogs in a whole new way, because I'm looking through different lenses because of what I've been taught. So that's why I'm so appreciative, and I really have enjoyed being able to do this in this big transition of my life that I'm still going through. So I was about to pull off and get, you know, on the, on the 5 north and head home and do my usual commute, but I just was like, you know what, I'm documenting all the things that are taking place in my life as I go through this big shift, this pivot, this transition, this turnaround, however you'd like to word it. I just wanted to continue this process of documenting and saying, hey, this is the stuff that I'm going through right now, and then be able to reflect and look back. Or if these videos are new to somebody, they'll be able to see the journey that I'm going on. And I just want to invite people into this journey. It doesn't mean you have to do exactly what I'm doing or exactly what I've done. I just want to be another representation of what's possible in one's life, because I know hope is so important, and I know what it's like to be hopeless. And things like this, where people share their experiences with me that have been where I'm at, or been where or they just share that they've been where I'm at and they're not there anymore. Those stories, those experiences that have been shared with me helped restore my hope. And with that hope, it was able to turn into other things like courage and the ability to face fears and do things I've never done before. So that's really the roots of what I'm doing with documentation and the tutorial videos that I'm making currently and going to continue making in the future. So yeah, this is a wild experience, you know, all the things I went through today after being bit. I mean, just to go back into that story really quickly, I almost passed out. I forgot to even say that. But yeah, after I got out of the crate room, I literally had so much adrenaline dump into my body that I almost passed out. I had to go outside and sit down, but then when I sat down, the sun was out, started making me hot. I started feeling nauseous, thought I was going to throw up and fall over all at the same time. And I was helped up, and I was fasting this morning. That didn't help. Had a little water. That did actually help. And then I made my way upstairs with assistance to another room where I could sit down and sit back. It was a little cooler up there. And I was able to get a little bit of food in me as well after that. And that definitely made a big difference. So I forgot to add that in there. I don't even know why. But yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen. And underneath all of that, it was like, yo, this is a metaphor for your life, bro. It's another reminder. Humble pie. Slow things down, meaning not just working with a dog, but that's a representation of something I can do in my life, because, you know, sometimes I look to the future and I think I'm too far behind and I need to hurry up. I need to get to where I'm going faster, as far as I want to get these goals, boom, 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 and do these things, and everybody else is so far ahead of me. So it was just like a metaphor for my life and a reminder saying, yo, you can slow down, you can pause, you can stop, you can process things. But slowing down was the big takeaway. And underneath all that adrenaline, once I started, you know, coming back to, you know, feeling a little more grounded and well, I had some definitely some emotional moments come up where it's just like, damn, man, okay, dude, like, shit is real. Stay awake, you know, stay present, stay conscious. Everything is okay. You don't have to be in a hurry. be patient. Everything's gonna happen as everything should, and it's gonna happen when it should. So in God's time and God's speed. But what a great reminder, what a great lesson. So I'll leave it on that note, and until the next video, whether it's a documentation or whether it's a more of an educational tutorial style video, I can't wait to keep making these videos. It's what I go to bed at night just thinking of, and all throughout my days. A lot of ideas are just coming to mind, but these are kind of the spontaneous, spur of the moment type of videos that I can just speak from as I live my life. So I can't wait for the next one. Until then, God bless. All right, so I just got home. The dogs are eating, drinking some water, and I forgot to take off and document what my hand looked like, just so you know it wasn't like crazy. So yeah, just a couple little small punctures, and I just hit the off button. So yeah, that's the glove, and underneath, nothing too crazy. A couple band-aids, and stay with you here. We'll set this on the desk. I'll take off band-aid 1 and band-aid 2. So just a little bit of blood on one of the band-aids. Nothing crazy, but I put the glove on just to make sure that nothing gets infected. And you can see my hand is pretty swole. Not too bad, but swole. A little bit of bruising or whatnot. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I documented everything along the way, including taking the magic glove off. Alrighty, I gotta jump in the shower. It's been a long day, and some nice hot water on my back would feel really nice right now. Peace.